To configure label printing, we need to define which labels should be printed for each store or terminal and on which printer these should be printed. Let's look at the label setup which you find on the pharmacy setup page. In label print setup, printers for each store or terminal are defined. All labels can be routed to the same printer or different printers used for each label. In this case, both the bag label and the dose label are routed to the printer Zebra in store 15 for all terminals. The prescription setup profile defines label types for each profile. That way, it is possible to have multiple types of the same label, for example, a large and a small dose label. In this case, the label type for the bag label is bag label, and the label type dose label is used for the dose label. Both label types or labels are included in the print all labels setting, as we will explain later. I'm opening the flow profile now. I find the Rx flow profile, and here we see that we have the field ask for number of bags. If that field is checked, like in this case, the system will ask for how many bags to print when moving the order, in this case from registration into final control. This means that if this is checked, the system will automatically print the bag label and the dose label for this particular order if they have not been printed before. Let's demonstrate how this works. I have registered a prescription order on customer 1000 Courtney, and I'm going to open that one now. I find the order here. The order has been registered, and I'm going to try to first print a dose label. Under reports and labels, I find the dose label and I print it. I get an error because the order must be confirmed or approved to be able to print the label. As if it would not be, I could change the, for example, the dose text after printing the label. So I confirm the order and I try again. I print the dose label and it was successfully printed. Now I continue with the process. I use auto pick to pick the line and I press next step to move the order from registration into final control. Now, as I've checked the asked for number of bags check mark, it should ask for how many bag labels should be printed and print the bag labels. It does. It prints the bag label, and it would actually also print the dose label if it had not been printed before, as the dose label is also included in the settings on the prescription setup profile. Let's look at an example of how a dose label should look. I have one here. This example is actually from the Icelandic localization, but it is a good example of how a dose label could look. On the left-hand side, we usually have the pre-printed logo of the pharmacy chain and the address. In this case, it's just empty because I don't want to have a customer logo in this demo. Here on the top side, I have 1, 2, 3, etc., which is the prescription number, the number of the prescription itself from the doctor. In the center, -1 is the inventory of the prescribed item, or of the delivered item actually. And on the right-hand side here, 194672 is the item number of the delivered item. Then we have the name of the customer in bold, and below that, the dose text, 1 tablet once a day. Then on the bottom, we have, this is pack 1 of 1. So the doctor prescribed 1 pack of this particular item, the date of the label printed or the prescription order, and finally 2509 is the number or the issuer ID in the system. So this shows us how we can print various labels in the system, both manually or when moving the order from registration into final control.